Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with Detective Alex Cross and his colleagues, Tommy and Monica, pursuing a deadly criminal like a pack of wolves seeking their prey. The fugitive attempts to escape for a short while, but Alex ambushes him and arrests him. Alex is a psychiatrist and is very interested in the field of medicine. During one of the nights, he pays a visit to a female inmate who goes by the name Pop Pop. He feels obligated to help her and guide her in the right direction, after learning of her murderous act. Because of this, he goes to see her sometimes to engage in conversation and play chess. Our detective and his wife, Maria, as well as their daughter's son and Maria's mother all share the same house. In contrast to the usual detectives, Alex is an attentive parent and loving husband. After he has finished instructing his daughter in the art of playing the piano, he begins instructing his son in using a drone. Maria walks in and tells him she has some very important news for him. They make their way to their bedroom, where Maria breaks the news to him that she is expecting a child. Alex is beyond himself with happiness, and begins to feel euphoric. Elsewhere, a deadly assassin comes to a stop, close to an ancient building, and takes a call from his customer, who tells him the money transfer has been successfully accomplished, and that he would find his target inside the old structure. Following the confirmation, he enters the structure, and observes that it is being utilized for underground cage fights in the venue. After locating his prey, Fan Yao, he makes the decision to put up a good fight, in order to impress her. The man who is in charge of organizing the battles tells the assassin that he has no chance of winning against these other men. On the other hand, the assassin pays the organizer, and tells him to allude to him as the assassin of Sligo. The assassin utterly destroys his adversary, and even breaks one of his arms, which leaves Fan Yao feeling quite impressed. She can't stop thinking about him, and eventually asks him out on a date. While things are heating up in the bedroom, he gives her a neurotoxic TTX, which ultimately causes her to become paralyzed. The assassin takes the concealed gun out of his shoe, and connects the silencer to it. Back to Alex, awakened earlier in the morning by the police chief, he goes to the crime scene and contacts Tommy, who is in the middle of some crucial business with Monica, to inform him of Fan Yao's death. Alex meets with Tommy and gives him a spiel about not dating a coworker, and not taking things personally. At the crime scene, they discover that the assassin murdered all of Yao's bodyguards. They head to Yao's room and learn that the assassin tormented Yao by chopping off her fingers. Later, Alex discovers the assassin's charcoal sketch style of Picasso. He checks it at the police station, and concludes that a businessman named Eric is the assassin's next target. He goes to see Eric with Tommy and Monica, but security tells them there is no need, and that Eric is currently busy. Alex alerts them to the fact that their boss is in great danger. However, the head of security explains the personnel consists of ex-police officers. So there's nothing to be concerned about. Everyone suddenly notices unforeseen leaks in the system. The security crew decides to place their faith in the investigators, and travels to Eric's workplace to question him. After that, we witness the assassin making his way through a water pipe to get to Eric and assassinate him. Alex and the other individuals arrive at the businessman's office at the same time, and he immediately informs the businessman that he is in imminent danger. While they investigate the floor, Tommy stays behind with Eric. The assassin appears and dispatches the guards with ease. On the other hand, Alex manages to catch him off guard, and instructs him to put the gun down. The assassin begins to behave oddly and hesitatingly, and he does not immediately fire the target, but instead hesitates to let go of the weapon. Alex keeps giving him orders, and the assassin continues to take advantage of the opportunity to carry out his plan. After launching a grenade, he runs away quickly. Tommy hears the explosion and decides to investigate it more, and doesn't waste any time shooting the assassin seeing him leave. He wounds him, but the assassin still manages to get away. Alex finds out later at the police station that Yao knew Eric, since the two of them worked for the same company, which was controlled by a man named Mercier, who could be the next victim. As a result, Alex, Tommy and Monica travel to Mercier the next day to pay their respects. The investigators are led to believe that the secretary, who greets them and acts in a peculiar manner, is likely under the influence of coke. Alex is shaking hands with Mercier, and accidentally cuts his hand on the enormous ring that he is wearing. He first expresses his regrets, and then boasts about where he obtained the ring, from the king of Cambodia. They retire to a separate room to have a conversation, and Alex tells them about the problem with the assassin, revealing that he is the assassin's intended victim. Mercier has faith in him and assures him that he does not know anyone who would wish for his death. After advising him to exercise extreme caution, Alex walks away. When Monica finally gets back to her apartment later, we can see she is not alone, the assassin is present as well. Alex and Maria are out for dinner at a restaurant. He breaks the news to Maria that he has been offered a position with the FBI in Washington, D.C., with a wage increase of 35%. When he picks up the phone to talk to Monica, he is instead confronted with the assassin's voice. After that, the assassin hands Alex a photograph of Monica, who has passed away. The assassin also shares the details of her slow and agonizing death. We see that he is located in a building across from the restaurant. He takes out his sniper rifle and points it at Alex, instructing him to profile him. Alex informs him that he is a psychopathic narcissist, who most likely started his killing career on animals, which infuriates the assassin. At that point, the villain murders Maria, to punish Alex. After a painful funeral, Alex speaks with Tommy, who is distraught because of Monica's death. It turns out she was also injected with TTX and tormented. Now that they're in the same boat, they decide to track down the assassin and avenge their loved ones. Alex receives a phone call from the assassin, who blames him for Maria's death. Alex warns him that he will hunt him down like a dog, and that he will be held accountable for his actions. Alex prepares for the opening act of the revenge narrative at night. His mother begs him to stop, because she does not want him killed, but he says he must stop the killer. Then he meets Tommy, and the two break into the police station, and grab the gun used by Pop Pop to murder her victim. The next day, Alex meets with Pop Pop's father, and gives him the gun and the release of his daughter, in exchange for information on who distributes TTX in town. The father accepts Alex's offer, and the two proceed to the TTX dealer. They thrash him, and he informs them that the assassin never divulged his name or anything else that could help them find him. They then go through the video cameras, and find the assassin's car plate number. They find him and rush out. At the same time, the police seal a few city blocks, because Mercier and Eric are about to have a meeting, and they need to keep them secure from the assassin's possible attack. The assassin pulls over at a parking structure, and gets into a taxi, which drops him off at a train station. He enters the train and takes control of it. On the train, 3 other men notice that, and start yelling at him. The assassin murders 2 of them and injures 1. Alex and Tommy meet with the cops and tell them that the assassin is around, and could attack any time. They see Mercier and Eric arrive, and Alex hears the train and rushes to help Mercier, but is unsuccessful, as the assassin fires his RPG and kills both Eric and Mercier. The assassin finishes off the last passenger on the train, and walks away as if nothing happened. He gets into his car and drives away, certain that the work is finished. However, as he drives away, Alex slams into him. Tommy gets hurt as a result of the crash, but survives. Alex exits the car, and walks to the parking lot to follow the assassin. The detective enters the attic with caution, where the assassin ambushes and disarms him. The combat begins, and they both receive the same number of punches. The assassin suddenly overpowers Alex and pulls out TTX. Alex surprises him with a knife, and stabs just as the floor collapses. Alex kicks the assassin, who meets his end. Alex is about to fall as well, as he continues to lose strength. Fortunately, Tommy and the police officers arrive, and assist Alex in getting up. Afterwards, Tommy tells him that he is relieved that the story is over, but he responds it isn't. Later in Bali, we see that Mercier is still alive. He receives a call from Alex, who informs him that he knows he paid the assassin to murder Yao and Eric. First, Alex noticed that Mercier, who the assassin allegedly murdered, was not wearing the golden ring. Then he started digging for information, and started connecting the dots. Mercier stole money from his clients, and requested Yao and Eric for help in faking his death, and fleeing to Bali. He then hired the assassin to remove them, since he wanted to keep the entire thing secret. Alex assures Mercier that he will pay for Maria's death, and says he informed the local police that his assistant is a drug addict. Also, Alex hired someone to hide 2 kilograms of coke on his property. The local police arrive at that time, and Alex tells Mercier that he will be executed by firing squad after they leave. Some time later, Alex and Tommy are driving. Alex has accepted the offer from the FBI, and Tommy has applied for the same position, because he wants to keep working with Alex, who goes back to his house to find his family. He gets ready to relocate to a new place and start a new life. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.